Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight, and I hope all those dads out there had a great Father's Day weekend. And we got a lot to talk about as per usual. So I guess I'll get started early with my little videos. CNN is not your friend, and that's another way of saying I got to break my words up, as you know, and then a me of the people. You know, I can't say that, so I just say they're not your friend. We're going to get into that and a lot more, but what do? I play videos while people come in, settle in, get themselves a nice cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage of their choice, whatever is your want. And then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Corralled into this box and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on
white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over. And Ukraine is a bare-faced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm's on.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
And they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies. Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let me see who stopped by to see me tonight. Ha! KNS Cleanup is here. Tammy's here. Nice to see you, Robin. Frank. Nice to see you. Thank you, Robin, for going by buy me a coffee. Marla's here. Let's see. Elva's here. Flannel Cheese. Frank's here. Let's see. Kim's here. We got Tammy, Cole. That's the younger gang, in case you didn't know. Flannel Cheese is here. Let's see. Frank's here. I got Frank a couple of times. Let's see. Who else is coming in to see me? Roland from Canada. How you doing, Roland? All right. I'll drive up there when y'all become a state. Nice to see you all. I'll drive up there in the heat of summer. I go where it's nice and cool. Bring my little kitty cat. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Well, it looks so far a difference from last night or my last broadcast. I said, Jiminy Crickets, where'd everybody go? Nobody was getting notifications or nothing because I was talking about stuff they don't want us talking about, right? And you know what that means. You know what it was all about. Dr. Ouchie. Dr. Ouchie, right? All my lurkers out there, I want to say hi to all my lurkers. So anyway, I got a lot of interesting things to talk about. But Trump has put out a stern warning to the Iranians. They're playing their little games. They don't know who's in charge. And they say, now we shut down the Strait of Hormuz. And, of course, there's still oil going through there. And many of you heard what Trump's response was, better watch your mouth. And you won't have a country to go back to. But I'll get into all that. And I've seen creators say, Trump threatened to assassinate him. And no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He told him you won't be able to go back to your country. And you know what? If there's major military operations going on around there, and they're in Switzerland, they're not going to be able to come back. Because there's going to be jets in the air and bombs flying and everything going on. They might as well stay in Switzerland and have a little bit of hot cocoa or something with some mushrooms in it. I mean, marshmallows. Hi, Robert. How you doing? So, yeah, there you go, Frank. Be like butter and get on a roll. So anyway, no, he talked tough to him, but he didn't do a threaten to kill them, But anyway, I got some clips we'll play from it. Where's that one where the reporter? Oh, and we got the algae freaks, everything that's going on. And what does CNN focus on is algae. It's ridiculous. It's asinine. And we're seeing people, or as Willie D says, people, P-E-P-O, in front of our eyes, vandalizing the pool, vandalizing the reflection pool in broad daylight. And I'll put a post CNN and others put up about it. They're accusing Trump is accusing people. Trump claims this when we see it happening with our own eyes. It's got J.D. Vance in there. Let's see. Delivers remarks in Switzerland. Let me see what's going on here.
I think it's important for the American people, but people all over the world to appreciate that what's brought us to this moment is the president's leadership and the president's willingness to see a Middle East that is much different 10 years from now than it was 10 years ago. And what we're trying to accomplish here is something very simple. Through diplomacy, through working together to transform the Middle East, where Iran and the Gulf have been at war with each other, or at least have had very unfriendly relations, where Iran has been a driver of regional instability. Now we see a future where everybody can work together to promote peace and prosperity for everyone. What we have already seen back home in the United States is lower gas prices. We've seen the free flow of oil and gas. We've seen peace. And now we're trying to build on that to see if we can build something even better and more sustainable for the future. This is a historic meeting. Never before, outside of Islamabad and here, so outside the last few months, never before has the Iranian and American leadership met at such a high level. What the president has asked us to do is turn over a new leaf, to transform our relationship with the people of Iran and to extend an outstretched hand that says to the people of Iran that if your leadership is willing to give up being a driver of regional instability, if they are willing to give up nuclear weapons ambitions for the long term, then the United States is willing to fundamentally transform our relationship with that country. That is certainly our goal. We've already made great progress over just the last few hours, and I expect that we'll make additional progress in the hours to come. Thank you all.
Well, pretty good presentation there. Laid out what we want, what's going on. And I tell you, but the media magnifies just the bad, the negative. You know, they forget that a couple of nights ago, somebody representing some wing of the Republican Guard, who knows, said that if these leaders, the political leaders, go in there and shake hands with J.D. Vance, the enemy, or any of the representatives, they would be harshly punished. You know, in other words, they were the ones threatening, all right, not Trump. And so little things mean a lot. They went into the same room, okay? There's J.D. Vance in the background. Where's he at? They went in the same room, and then they turned around and left acting indignant, okay? So they're straddling. They're straddling both sides. I didn't go and shake hands with them. I didn't. They showed up in Switzerland. They were in the same room. Negotiations were going on. It might have been through 4 inches of 2x4s and a little bit of drywall between them when they got down to the negotiations. But they showed up. Okay. Iran and Hyderabad. Photos with American war criminals, you know. So then the news agencies are saying, oh, the talks are falling apart. Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, Trump came out and said it's BS. Ships are going through. And Trump said, hey, you won't have a country. You keep it up. But the bottom line is, all the bluster aside, they showed up. And it's signals like that mean a lot. But here we go. Here's this young fella here giving the description of what Trump was saying.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. I just spoke with President Trump for more than 20 minutes, and he gave some new insight and reaction about the ongoing talks that are taking place in Switzerland and the threats coming from the Iranian regime. President Trump telling Fox News that the U.S. may take over the strait in the future if they have to, and collect tolls. The president described this as the United States being the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and the Middle East. And the president said ultimately that would involve the U.S. taking 20% of the oil that passes through the strait. Remember, this comes in reaction to the Iranians saying they will close the Strait of Hormuz in response to Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. President Trump tells Fox News he spoke with Iranian officials overnight and said, you close it and you won't have a country. He went on to tell these officials, you won't even make it back to your effing country. Now, earlier today, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian said this about Iranian enrichment of uranium. The president also reacting to that. Take a listen.
We will not give up our right to enrichment, and they, too, will be forced to accept it. You all know what the so-called President of the United States was saying. He had made a complete 100-degree turn. He was saying that Iran must surrender unconditionally. Iran has no right to do this, it has no right to do that.
President Trump, during our call, responded directly to those comments by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. President Trump told Fox News he better watch his mouth, he better shape up, or we'll take over the rest of the country. And so clearly the president reacting directly to these comments from Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian. And also President Trump talked about the broader memorandum of understanding. This is just a ceasefire extension. This is not the final deal with the Iranian regime. And the president says he holds the cards and maintains a variety of options if the Iranians don't make these serious commitments at the negotiating table. He said, I have a 60-day option, and I can do whatever I want after that option. So again, President Trump leaving a variety of considerations on the table and says that the United States could become the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and collect tolls itself while taking oil, around 20%, the president says. As it relates to oil, President Trump also said that 19 million barrels of crude oil exited the Persian Gulf yesterday as a result of this memorandum of understanding with the Iranians. Guys?
So, Trey, as always, a fascinating...
Well, 19 million barrels. 19 million barrels. You know what the total was? 14 million. So it's up to 19 million. And there is going to be an oil glut. There's going to be a glut on oil. Remember that term from back in the day, a glut? So be ready for that. Prices are going to drop. There's going to be gas wars again. People lowering their prices, competition. It's all going to happen again. But Trump said plump and plain, we're going to charge 20% to reimburse ourselves for past and present and future expenses that they are causing us to rack up. I mean, we're getting sick of it. Time to quit playing games, damn it. So anyway, before all this stuff happened, Trump put out a truth to everybody, Iran, Israel, and the misfits in Lebanon. Iran must need to stop their highly paid proxies, mercenaries in Lebanon from causing trouble. If they don't, we'll hit Iran very hard again, just like we did last week, only harder. And somehow they're claiming that Israel does not have a right to strike back if they bomb Israel. That's insane. Nobody would ever agree to that. And they're going to find out. They're going to F around and find out. But I tell you, which news organization put this? ABC News. Listen, traditionally, former presidents and their administrations kept their nose out of current administration business, okay? But no, not Obama and not his, this guy. What are we going to do about this guy here? Susan Rice, Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice blasts flimsy Iran agreement, undermining a duly elected sitting president while he's negotiating with enemies overseas and trying to prevent a nuclear holocaust and stabilize the world economy. To sit here and say that for an ABC promulgating it, they are the end and then a me of the people. They're giving aid and comfort to these people. to our enemies. And that is a very formal term. All right. Former National Security Advisor Susan Rice blasted the preliminary agreement between Trump administration and Iran in an exclusive interview Sunday, calling the war with Iran a strategic blunder and arguing that the U.S. has now made so many concessions that amount to a very bad outcome. What the hell is she talking about? Or she or it, whatever, talking about? So let me put up some of Trump's posts. I mean, they're hard to see. I don't know what they are till I get them on the screen, but let's go through them. Radical left fools and Democrats realize how well we have done in our war against Iran, with their country being completely defeated militarily. Obama just giving them billions in cash and never used our then depleted military for what should have been done to rein in the world's #1 sponsor of terror, Iran. They had zero respect for him. They thought he was, like Sleepy Joe Biden, a weak and ineffective leader. And on this, they were 100% correct. Iran got away with, quote, murder for 47 years until I came along. Then it all changed. America is back. DJT. And remember now, folks, if somebody comes in the chats and stirs a little doo-doo up, I'll deal with it. Okay, I'll talk to him. You never know, we might make a friend. But anyway, yeah, it's a totally different ball game now. We're dealing with a totally different ball game, and they were a menace. They are a menace, and Trump is taking care of business that they should have took care of a long time ago. Here we go again. Oh, I said this at the beginning of the show. I might as well go ahead and say it to everybody. Now that everybody's in the chats, Donald Trump and myself wish you all a happy Father's Day. Our country's doing great. Record job numbers and stock market. Best economy ever. Greatest military in the world by far. We are winning on all fronts. Winning like never before. God bless you all. President Donald J. Trump. Ha ha, Sparky hadn't seen no doo-doo yet. That's good. Well, if you do, just don't interact, don't argue, or disrupt the chats with somebody that I will talk to. Miss Mindersu is here. Let's see. I saw Elva and Sparky, and who else came in? Somebody else snuck in. Pappy Two Bears is here. So anyway, if I missed anyone, I do apologize. So anyway, here we go. Iran must immediately stop their highly... Oh, I already read that one. Oh, from causing trouble. He gave him 2 warnings. Otherwise, we'll hit him again, only harder. So, Keir Starmer's going to resign as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. You know, Trump covers so many bases with his truths. You know, just to let people know, he's not distracted by one thing. He's got his eye on everything. He failed badly on 2 very important subjects, immigration and energy, open North Sea oil. I wish him very well. Well, these people won't be able to walk down the street, don't you know? Here he is again. Lots of killing going on in Chicago. Here we go. All this stuff going on, and he is reminding Pritzker and these other governors. What did Trump say about the Insurrection Act? If people are losing their lives, and governors and judges won't do anything about it, that's why we have an Insurrection Act. Remember him saying that? I'll play it again in the future. You can rest assured. At least 4 dead. Why isn't Governor Pritzker calling me for help? I could make Chicago a safe city in 1 month. In 1 year. It would be one of the safest. D.C. went from one of the worst to one of the safest cities in the U.S. President DJT. And he also put out something about, if I come across it, Dopey Newsom and his wife. Many additional people have been arrested having to do with the disgraceful vandalism of our beautiful reflecting pool. It hasn't looked or worked like this since. But even then, it leaked badly and didn't work. Ours worked perfectly, including the mirror-like finish, perfectly reflecting the two great monuments, which it never had before. What these terrible vandals have done is a true affront to both Presidents George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, and should be dealt with accordingly. We met with contractors today. We'll probably be forced to release and drain much of the water in order to do the necessary repairs. But we'll have them, let's hope he has them done. We'll have them done as quickly as possible. What they have damaged does not even include the earlier killing of a large amount of grass, which was by far the and put a 250-foot long gash into the beautiful facade of what took so much work, competence, and money to build and complete. They poured corrosive and destructive chemicals into the pool. The reflecting pool was never so beautiful as it was 1 week ago, even going back to 1922 when it opened. We are very proud of what we have done with this magnificent structure, and we will get it repaired quickly to an equal level of beauty. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Did you all hear that part? That they took a knife or a blade and cut a 250-foot long gash. What do you think the chances are they're going to make an arrest on that? And what do you think the chances are it was the same damn night they came by and put in that 8647? Well, it could have been multiple nights because they were cutting fuel lines, releasing fuel and noxious chemicals in a fuel dump. Look here. Midas Trash Network put this up, and they're laughing. These maniacs on the left are laughing about this. How are we supposed to live with people like this? How are we supposed to get along with people who think this type of thing is funny? Midas Trash, there they are, Midas Touch, in case you got your algorithm going and you want to pick up when people mention your trashy channel. Midas Touch Network. Appears they forgot to that the paint or whatever the Trump regime used to cover up the large 8647 etch has worn away, and the numbers are once again visible. Reuters' Aaron Schwartz. So, yeah. I mean, why would you highlight this? It's celebrating it. It's celebrating, and it's encouraging it. It's giving the spotlight to vandals and miscreants who would spend their life, their time of their day trying to destroy, do something harmful to a national monument. Trump claims this is after everybody's watching people get arrested. Everybody wakes up in the morning and sees the grass killed. I mean, we're talking, they're walking acres of land to make these huge numbers visible from a helicopter. And Trump claims reflecting pool was vandalized. Oh, it's just a claim. And says law enforcement is investigating. You're damn right they are. President Trump claimed the Lincoln Memorial reflecting, use that term, memorial, because it's 10 years in a joint. All right, for vandalizing, defacing, or otherwise harming a memorial, was intentionally vandalized, said law enforcement active investigating. They scrambled to fix the pool's recent deterioration in just days after Trump's nearly $15 million reservation. When have you ever heard about how much something costs? Did they ever ask about the cost of Obama's hot dog party at 2 o'clock in the morning? Did they ever ask about the cost of his basketball court? Not one word. $15 million. What's that? 1% of what the Somalians stole out of Minnesota? They're nauseating. They're nauseating. Speaking of nauseating, and running his mouth when he's supposed to keep his mouth shut. Every prior administration got out of the way. If another president called, like when John Kennedy, JFK called Eisenhower for advice, and similar situations throughout the years, the former president steps back, okay, and does not interfere. But this one, $800 and some million on a cinder block, okay, awful looking cinder block. I got a video. I think I'm gonna play it, okay, and comment throughout. But anyway, it's that lady that. Anyway, I'll put it up in a minute. The former U.S. president who signed this country's last nuclear deal with Iran, nuclear deal, has slammed the Trump administration's agreement with Iran in an interview with NBC. He'll be lucky to get exile in Kenya, because what he's doing is treason. He's giving aid and comfort to the enemy. Okay, just like CNN is, just like the New York Times is. And I know I got to watch what I say. My last video, I'm going to take it down in 24 to 48 hours. I'll get into that in a minute. It was about Dr. Fauci. All right? And I said in the very early part of my video, I said, something's wrong. The video's not going out. Well, it got blocked worldwide. They claimed for a copycat strike, okay? But anyway, here's Obama. Well, I don't want to read this crap. We spent billions and billions of dollars. People have died. And it feels like we're back where we started. All this kind of crap. This is sedition. I don't give a damn if he is a former president. It's not his place. It's sedition. That ugly ass thing he built. The lady I'm going to play, I said it looked like a modern day Bastille. She referred to it as a Eastern Bloc prison. By that she means like East Germany, when the communists took over East Germany. And that's exactly right. A Stalinistic mausoleum-looking mess. The Babylon Bee put up, now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station. Yeah, I see you down there. Is it Donnie or Daniel? I'll be ready to talk to you. Just don't be. And if you, oh, now you're typing a book in my chats, Daniel. The chats are chats, not war and peace. Okay, and are you giving? This is great. Are you giving opinions you heard on the internet by the galactic-brained Marxists that are taking over the chats? Now, Roland, let me handle. If you and Roland want to talk, you and Roland can go out of the chats and talk. Okay? I'm the one talking here. Got it? Now, the reflecting pool hasn't been meaningfully remodeled in 104 years. Donald Trump. Oh, Daniel, don't throw insults out. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and I'll go have a back and forth with you. But if you act a fool, I'll kick you out of here, and nobody will care who you are or where you come from. Okay? And not a lot of creators will do that. Because you have your irritation against Donald Trump, why would you mock? Just think about it and answer this question. Why would you celebrate people putting noxious substances in the pool, vandalizing the pool? Why would you criticize it in the first place when it hasn't had needed maintenance done to it in over 100 years? Can you answer that for me, Daniel? Can you answer that for me, Daniel? I ask people not to be stirring up trouble, let me handle it. But okay, all right, we understand each other. Here we go, while he's thinking of his answer. Material. It's called a liner. It's called a liner. Somebody cut reflecting pool national spotlight. Why is it a national spotlight? Why are people rushing down there? Oh, okay. Let's see. Truth hurts. I haven't heard any truth out of you, but we'll see. Truth hurts. There, Snowflake. Okay, you're throwing an insult. Your last warning. Don't do it again. I'll kick you out. A no-bid contractor. But I'll answer them one at a time. He skimmed money with periods. Okay. He put in periods between his words. You're accusing the President of the United States being a liar and stealing money, and that it was a no-bid contractor. He's done pools. He's done pools all around the world. All right. Since before you. All right, you're out of here, Don. I asked you not to insult people. So you're out of here. You are the biatch, okay? Because you be a jerk. Okay? I tried to be nice to you. Get bent. Okay? Spend your life being miserable. Spend your life trying to tear others down. Spend your life supporting people who are against this country. Spend your life attacking Donald Trump and kissing up to people like Obama, okay? But you're out of here. Bye. Tourists and local residents alike have flocked to the site in recent days, shooting videos of the murky green water. He said, why was there algae in the water? That's what happens when people throw fecal matter and urine in it. That's what happens. The grass dies when people put poison in the grass. Oh, but that doesn't mean they did something to the pool. What are you, stupid? Of course they're what's this new one? Don Z YouTube channel. Well, if you're promoting your channel, I'm going to kick you out. If you're here just to chat, fine. But don't be promoting events or stuff on your channel. That's not why I broadcast, okay? So welcome aboard. Just watch yourself. But anyway, that pool was pristine. And then, yes, pools get out of hand. I owned a pool. And it was one that the public used. Well, private public. And, yeah, they can change fast. And, but they were taking stuff out of there in clumps with nets. Okay, this was not natural. I guarantee you, Todd, I got rid of them. I guarantee you they'll find E. coli. They put urea in there, okay? Urea. That's urine, okay? But it's every urea you can think of. Diarrhea, gonorrhea. These people are nasty. And what would possess them? I've taken care of it, Tammy. It was a new person talking smack. I would try to reach out to him, but it's somebody just coming in and insulting. And there's, who cares about, there's thousands of channels. He can go somewhere else. What is wrong with these people? They make sock puppet accounts and they come back. You just get rid of them. But anyway, what would possess people? They're mentally ill. And if they want to tear down Trump, what does it tell you about them? Well, this person was named Daniel. I'll assume they're a man. What does it tell you about them as a man? Listen, Donzi YouTube channel, quit promoting other events. This is the second time you put something in the chats, and if you do it again, I'm going to kick you out. You want to be part of the chats to make some friends, fine. But if you're going to promote your channel, promote your crap, I'm going to kick you out. And that's one more warning than most people give. Well, I'm trying to rally folks too. I've been doing it for 5 years. And back to my point. Elon Musk reposted something somebody posted, speaking of about being a man. And, you know, with all due respect to women, but it was Karl Marx's father. Let me see if I can find it. A letter he wrote to his son about just what I'm talking about. The person I kicked out twice. What kind of man are you? Are you like Karl Marx, where somebody who, like Trump, comes along trying to get America back to doing good business, having a profitable country, posterity, all that good stuff? What makes you so angry towards him? And why would you falsely accuse him of stealing? He's a billionaire. You think he's got to steal from a project? Let me see. I got to find that. Oh, this is some more of the... No, what you're doing... Let me try to find this. Jiminy crickets. What you're doing is you're showing yourself. You're showing yourself to have a Karl Marx attitude. And his own father called him out. As fathers, Chris Freeman put this up. And like I said, Karl Marx's father to his son Karl. Frankly speaking, my dear Karl, I do not like this modern world, which all weaklings use to cloak their feelings when they quarrel with the world because they do not possess, without labor or trouble, well-furnished palaces with vast sums of money and elegant carriages. This embitterment disgusts me, and you are the last person from whom I would expect it. What ground? That's in a way what I was trying to ask that person. Your embitterment, your anger, you're mocking somebody trying to improve the reflecting pool, celebrating when people destroy it, denying that people are destroying it, accusing, bitter because you're jealous. Just like Karl Marx's father is trying. What? This embitterment disgusts me, and you are the last person I would expect. What grounds do you have for it? Has not everything smiled on you ever since your cradle? Has not nature endowed you with magnificent talents? Have not your parents lavished affection on you? Have you ever up to now been able to satisfy your reasonable wishes? And have you not carried away in the most incomprehensible fashion the heart of a girl whom thousands envy you? Yet the first disappointed wish evokes embitterment. Is that strength? Is that manly character? there you have it, folks. What kind of man are you that you would sit there and be so petty as to mock Trump constantly try to destroy what he's trying to. He wants people to be proud of their country. He wants us not to be in danger. He wants us to be safe and prosperous. And it drives him crazy. Because they do not possess, without labor or trouble, well-furnished palaces with vast sums of money and elegant carriages. This embitterment disgusts me. It disgusts me too, Papa Marx. Apparently his son didn't pay him no heed. This is the kind of crap our nation is willing to tolerate. Because why? Because they feel guilty for being successful? They bought this stolen land garbage? Like Richard Pryor said, they don't let you play. If it wasn't for the colonists coming over here, you'd be jumping over buffalo crap with rags tied around your rear ends, chasing dinner with a stick. But anyway.
Security here at the reflecting pool has completely changed overnight. After all these people were arrested yesterday for jumping in the pool and trying to get the blue sealant, they now have armed police, sheriffs, and National Guard on 24/7 shifts circling the entire pool.
Destruction of government property. That's what they were doing. Destroying government property. And we saw them do it. And believe me, they'll come up. They're slick. They know not to have their cell phones. They know this, that, and they continue to do this crap and get away with it. Here's some more video. Here's the National Guard again. It's not like we want to deploy the National Guard. But we can't have these lunatics going around doing this. And that one guy was a Olympian. Hi, Gov. How you doing?
Yeah, I didn't know you couldn't touch it.
No, it's okay. We just wanted to
I was
say
coming to refuse the fact that it's starting up the water. I keep seeing videos.
Trying to get a water sample. I think that's CNN. Trying to get a water. What are they going to find out? Oh, CNN was saying, oh, you can't put chlorine in here because the birds, the ducks won't land. The ducks never did land there. It's not for the ducks, you idiots. It's a reflecting pool. There's no fish for them to eat. Now that reflecting pool was clean for about a week. Okay? And then it had this sudden heavy algae bloom. Sudden heavy, it doesn't happen that way. Not that kind of massive crap that came up. So they'll check the water out. They'll see what kind of chemicals those people put in. And they'll track down whoever was out there wandering around whatever time of night and put their asses in jail where they belong. Here's what somebody was talking about. Well, before I show that one, I'll show this one. I got two videos of these algae freaks, okay? Who does this organically? Who goes down to the nation's capital? Now this one here, let me go ahead and play it. I'll tell you what I'd do with her.
Algae smarter than MAGA. 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 Algae smarter than MAGA.
Team Algae. She's got a mask on. Okay, first thing I do is find out, who is this person? Are they even legally in this country? Because that voice sounded a little bit funny to me. Number two, are you disabled? What kind of income do you get? I know what disabled means. You can't walk. You can't get around. You can't do stuff. You're physically crippled. But if you can travel from wherever you came from to the nation's capital and walk around with it, holding a sign above your head, blabbing off at the mouth, how many hours you do that? Maybe you shouldn't be getting a disability check if that's the case. Or maybe you don't even belong in this country at all. Maybe there's exactly what I'd be doing. And I don't give a damn. Well, that's not nice. That's profiling. No, that's somebody making a spectacle, making an ass out of themselves. You want to be famous? We can make you famous. Now here's some more idiots.
$1.1 million for y'all to watch porn scam. Our money's really being fucking spent well for y'all to watch porn scam. Let's go, Algae. Let's go. So the National Guard could come and watch porn scam. $1.1 million a day so the National Guard could...
They got that frog, inflatable frog business going on. How much you want to bet this person doesn't belong in this country, okay? Or where's it? How's this person making a living? How's this person able to afford this stuff?
To come and watch porn scam. Y'all trying to find something to arrest me for, aren't y'all? Right? You're going to try to find something to arrest me for.
They just ignored her. But yeah, I would love. Here we go. Let's see what this is. Breaking news. What breaking news? I don't know what it is. I really don't. I got several clips. And like I say, I got to play these clips because I forget. And, you know, sometimes when people come in the chats, you can get them to think, get them to conversate, maybe even join watching the program. But some people, you can forget it. They come in with complete, total viciousness and insults and canned prattle about against Donald Trump and against our country. Forget it.
Just moments ago, President Trump posting on Truth Social, following all that back and forth around the Strait of Hormuz today. He says, quote, there will be no tolls in the Strait of Hormuz for 60 days during the ceasefire period, and there will be no tolls after the 60-day period has expired. This comes after Iran said that it shut down the Strait of Hormuz over
alleged ceasefire violations.
Now, this video stops right here. She doesn't read the rest of it. Should the deal not be completed for services rendered as the guardian angel to the countries of the Middle East for purposes both past, present, and future reimbursements of costs. Future reimbursement of past, present, and future reimbursement of costs. She should have read the whole thing. But at least they put that up there. But the audience doesn't have time to read that. They're doing the dishes, trying to listen to stuff, and they put out what they want to put out. Here we go, Fox and Friends. What's this one about? Is this about the vandals that Trump is alleging? You know, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not really vandals. I don't know. It might be about Iran. Let's see.
Okay, multiple people, including a former U.S. Olympian, have now been arrested for allegedly vandalizing the newly renovated reflecting pool in the nation's capital.
Kevin Cork joins us now from the White House with all the latest on this. Kevin, good morning.
Yeah, frankly, this is, and good morning to all of you. This is a sad story because all Americans, I don't care about your political stripes, enjoy the reflecting pool. But as Charlie points out, we're talking about someone who's gone from competing in Olympic-sized swimming pools to being accused of vandalizing the reflecting pool along the mall. And, of course, he ends up in cuffs. And apparently he's not the only one. We're speaking of a former Olympian canoeist, 67-year-old David Hearn, three-time Olympian, by the way, said he was cycling by the monument on Friday. He noticed a piece of the pool's underliner floating in the water, but authorities, they didn't buy his story at all. And now they're accusing him of being one of several individuals of trying to sabotage the project, with a pair of arrests being made so far. In fact, the president said as much in a post on Truth Social, announcing, quote, many additional people have been arrested having to do with the disgraceful vandalism of our beautiful reflecting pool. What these terrible vandals have done is a true affront to both Presidents George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and should be dealt with accordingly. They also poured corrosive and destructive chemicals into the pool. Finally, he adds this: we are very proud of what we have done with this magnificent structure, and we'll get it repaired quickly to an equal level of beauty. Now, the pool, which had been restored to a beautiful cerulean as part of the America 250 celebration, spent years mired in an algae-covered state until the big cleanup. But suddenly we started reading reports of a new algae bloom forming, and the peeling lower coating, critics said it was a shoddy job done by the contractors. Turns out that's not true at all, and now we know why. Now, the cleanup of this $14 million project is ongoing, even at this very hour, but given the fact that the 4th of July is right around the corner, to get it ready, they're going to have to work around the clock, guys.
All right. Truly incredible. Some people just need to get a life. They need to get a hobby. They need to find something better to do.
They need to get a life.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Problem at a national memorial right before our 250th celebration. Why would you celebrate it and mock? I'm just looking through the chats. I saw something about salt. Yeah, Debbie, it's right. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, they could make it very brackish temporarily to get through the 4th of July. Heavy salt. It's not, CNN saying, oh, the ducks can't swim in there. Ducks will poop in there, okay? Ducks, you don't want ducks in there. You want ducks sitting on top of your head? I mean, think about it. People have got rocks in their head. Speaking of rocks in their head, Father's Day. New York Times, look at this. Opinion guest essay. To my daughter, my gender was never complicated. So this is a mother who thinks they're a father. Look at it. They put this in the New York Times. They can move between, oh, this is the last one. How long did you have breasts, Dad? Here's the first one. The child is saying, oh, you look really different. Yeah. Yeah, you look cool. Then or now. Look at the hair on the face. A mentally ill individual raising a child, and they're publicizing it in the New York Times like everything. This is the way it's supposed to be, folks. Here's the kids at school. You can't grow a beard, you're a girl. My dad did, and he was a girl. Although moving past it was hard sometimes. Two parents staring at this person that's got hair on their face. And then the last one is them walking down the street. You see the hair on the legs too. Don't forget, I can grow hair on my legs. That makes me a man. How long did you have breasts for, Dad? Oh, because they've been cut off and thrown in the trash pail. Now I'm a man. The gray lady is supposed to be the New York Times putting this kind of crap out. If that ain't the enemy of the people, I don't know what is. Here's Chuck Schumer. Here's Chuck Schumer talking with, I called him Lord Haw Haw. I don't know what happens to the volume. This volume, I know the volume works to the point where he says, if the Save America Act passes, 25 million people will be taken off the voter rolls. What does that tell you?
Senate Majority Leader, and he's saying all of that because the Republicans in the Senate are not trying to push through his bill to restrict voting in this country.
Well, that's right. This is this horrible thing, the SAVE Act, one of the worst, most anti-election democracy things that's ever been proposed. They say it's all about ID, voter ID. It's not. They will remove 25 million people off the rolls. Why? Because they'll require under this act, which is not going to pass, and we're not going to let it pass. We've defeated in court. I was a lead plaintiff in the decision to do that. We've refused to give them the votes that they would want for this. We never will. What it does is it says every state send your election rolls not to the Justice Department or the voting division, but to the Department of Homeland Security, where Musk and Doge and Vote have installed an algorithm that determines whether you're legitimately right to vote or not. The algorithm is a fix. It'll knock 20 million people, 30 million people off the rolls, and they don't tell you. So Mr. Lawrence O'Donnell could show up at the same voting place he showed up every so often, shown his same ID. Sorry, you're not on the rolls anymore, sir. Well, what do I do about it? Next week, go to the Board of Elections. Trump knows he will lose the election. He said it. Because he has created such chaos and because we Democrats have shown what we're for and the contrast between what we're for and he's for, and there's such a contrast. And so he's got to fix it. We're not letting him do it.
So one of the things...
Rhythm that's going to knock American citizens out of their right to vote. What a lie. What a bunch of garbage. We don't believe you, schmuck, Schumer. We don't believe you because you're a liar. Was this the intro to that? Let me see. Yeah, Chuck Schumer. No. Because you could always contest. You could always contest. You could always call up and say, "Hey, what you saying? Didn't have a proper ID. Here it is." You do a provisional ballot that can be tracked. If there's a problem, he's ringing an alarm bell about problems that never. Oh, I put a link in the description. I mean, in the chats for buy me a coffee. I keep forgetting. I put it in and I forget to say anything about it. But I want to thank Gary. Where's my bombs? I got Gary, Younger Gang, Robin, Wayne, and Mike and Bev stopped by this evening to help an old man out on Buy Me a Coffee. Here we go. Cop, boom, cop, pow. Hey, I got boom, boom, boom. Ha ha. I give Miss Minister a special shout out because she dropped a Moab. But Gary, Younger Gang, Robin, Wayne. Where's my bomb at? Here we go. And Mike and Bev. Pow! There we go. I do appreciate it for helping out this week. And yeah, because it's a totally viewer-supported channel. That's why there's no commercials. So anyway, maybe we'll have some more about these lunatics and the reflecting pool all day long. This is over and over. This is what we're with vandalism. Look at that green. That's where they're vacuuming it up. Can you see that, folks? That's why I got this picture. It was an aerial picture. You see where they using vacuums to get that heavy garbage up? I've cleaned pools before. I know what the deal is. And that we know it's taller than the Empire State Building. And for it to be that inundated with that much heavy stuff, it had to be something very noxious. Okay? So anyway, here's Trump put out something about Lindsey Graham, and I said that is this it? That Trump has said many times he's always there when you need him. Here we go. Senator Lindsey Graham is working incredibly hard for the great people of South Carolina, a state I love and one big 16, 20, and 2024. He's been a wonderful friend and always been there when I needed him to grow the economy, lower taxes. He goes through all this stuff because he's endorsing him, right? And I keep telling y'all, if Trump's happy with him, I'm happy with him. All the things, migrant crime, keep our border safe, strongly support our military, energy dominance, on down. So he gives them a glowing endorsement. So I'm not saying he's lily white, but he's got Trump's back. Okay, he had it ever since the Kavanaugh hearings. Remember that? But anyway, here he is talking about Iran. And, they get emboldened if you don't get strong with them. This is the weekend. The markets aren't open. They put feelers out to act like they were shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. Trump comes out strong, real strong, tells them it blow them off the face of the earth. And then here we got Lindsey Graham.
Let's try a diplomatic solution. I think it's going to fail. What happens next? Friday. Here's what I think will happen next. If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force. The United States will control the Strait of Hormuz. We'll charge a fee for all those who go through to pay for the operation, and we're going to expand the Abraham Accords in calendar year 2026. We're going to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, and which is the biggest change in 5,000 years in the Mideast. And if Iran contests control of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States, we will obliterate them. So to all the people listening, if this diplomatic effort fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. We're going to run it. We're going to try to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords to end the Arab-Israeli conflict in 2026. And if Iran continues to attack Israel and Lebanon, the new policy will be we'll hit Iran. So to the Iranians, if you're listening, when you use Hezbollah to attack Israel, I think the new policy will be we will attack Iran.
So he's basically playing the role of we expect it to fail. We expect Iran to do the wrong thing, and we're ready to take it over. So, so Trump is not isolated. He's not the only one saying we're going to take over the strait. Here's a video I was going to tell y'all. She'll say her name in here about the Obama Library. Keep in mind, and all of you in the chats know it, but for anybody that may be watching my video that's, hadn't had their ear to the ground or whatever, let me remind you of something. They did a historic raid on a former president of the United States in his home in Mar-a-Lago, claiming they were getting papers that the president of the United States shouldn't have. Okay, this was ordered by the people running the National Archives, a librarian who is a Marxist, as Trump said. This is part of their operations. They get positions that are innocuous and they put people in like the parliamentarian, okay, and the people heading up the National Archives and whatever little places they can, and get them to stir up trouble, okay, or block things they shouldn't have the power to block, like the Save America Act with the parliamentarian, and the National Archives giving a so-called judge, magistrate judge, a fig leaf to justify a warrant to search the President of the United States' home and his wife's bedroom and his son's bedroom. Well, what is the dichotomy? You have Obama, who hadn't turned over squat except to his fellow Marxist archivists, and they have an agreement where no one can release any of Obama's papers. Who can get a warrant for those? Where are they? Anyway, this lady does a deep dive into it. Anybody that should have their archives, their personal papers, their official papers gone over and scrutinized, it's Obama for trying to overthrow the president of the United States and for dealing with an enemy of the United States, Iran, and other communist nations. But anyway, let her talk.
Barack Obama's presidential center opened on Chicago's South Side. It cost $850 million. It began as a presidential library project. That means 16 years of American history should be there for review by historians, researchers, and you out there in the general public. But that idea got aborted very early, and it's clear why. As of now, records of those 16 years are being hidden, the dirty parts scrubbed and withheld, particularly the ones dealing with the 2015 forward surveillance and ultimate coup against Donald Trump. The building, which Obama says he helped design, looks like an East German prison planted in the heart of Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara Boyd. My friends and I knew who Barack Obama was way back in 2008, and we exposed his crimes repeatedly from 2008 forward. Now, before I go deeper into this scandal, please hit the like button and share this video. It increases our reach on YouTube. So
this isn't the presidential library. It's a cover.
Yeah, Roland put it in the chat. Her name Barbara Boyd, and she's on X. Okay, it's Prometheus. I can't think of the last name of it. But anyway, you want to check her out. I played a video of her in the past. Not a presidential library. It's a cover-up. They're preventing people from inspecting Obama's presidential papers, which have been open to the public, okay, things that are not classified, ever since Herbert Hoover. But why is Obama's been locked away?
Cover-up. At the Thursday dedication, Valerie Jarrett, Obama's longtime manager, opened with this.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the original inhabitants of the land upon which we are gathered today. We honor the
I played this the other night.
Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi nations.
But she didn't apologize to the current Southside residents for stealing a beautiful and historic public park. That land became Obama's center. She didn't apologize to the black contractors who worked on the center and got stiffed by Obama and now are in bankruptcy. Most of all, she didn't apologize to the American people for Barack Obama's attempt to steal and revise an entire 8 years of American presidential history. Now, every president since Herbert Hoover has donated their official records to the federal government, their papers, their correspondence, their decisions held by the National researchers and made available by the archives to the American public. That's what's called a presidential library. But Obama's presidential records aren't even at his center. They're at the National deal with the National Archives. Barack Obama and his foundation are determining what documents get digitized and when they get digitized or released. The Daily Beast, normally an Obama fan, calls this, and I quote, a mockery of transparency.
And here's what Obama said about
the Daily Beast. You've even got some wacko lefty site like the Daily Beast is raising questions about the hiding the Obama papers. And you know what? We need, just like we'll get the name of this parliamentarian. I know Trump has said the name before. That person needs to go, and they need to be investigated, along with this archivist who was the impetus for the warrant to go into Trump's house, and also worked out this deal with the Obama cronies to hide his stuff. We need to find out who these people are.
At the building he helped design.
And it's why we designed the center not to be some lifeless mausoleum. I am too young for that. Not just a place to see Michelle's dresses, although I understand that will be the top attraction. We want a celebration of community, where we can learn together and share the joys of art and music and sport and play. Because it's in those moments that we're reminded of our common humanity and strengthen the bonds of trust that not only make our lives richer, but make our democracy stronger.
Listen to those soaring words and then look at that building again. Doesn't it remind you of the entire Obama presidency? Isn't its brutality and ugliness the truth regarding the three presidencies preceding Donald Trump's surprise 2016 victory? Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Obama. Clinton, Bush, and Joe Biden were all at the dedication ceremony yesterday, dancing and enthralled with the idea of celebrating Barack Obama. But Bill Clinton's presidency was when China was brought into the WTO, and the final offshoring of America's manufacturing and industrial infrastructure began and continued. Under Bush, 9/11 inaugurated a seemingly permanent surveillance police state and the disastrous Iraq War. Barack Obama bailed out the world's speculators in 2009 on the backs of American workers and the middle class. They ended up broken, while Obama's banker friends only got richer. They were told to, quote, learn to code. That's not to mention Obama's role in starting the wars in Ukraine and Iran. And finally, that's when a rigged election resulted in 4 years of government by staff, an American decline run by holdovers loyal to one man, Barack Obama. Now, if you're like me and you're always looking for the reality underlying events despite the media's half-truths and lies, you should subscribe to our free newsletter.
We try our best to present that truth.
I don't have a link in the description, but there it is. Prometheus Action. I saw somebody else get that earlier up in the chats. Barbara Boyd on X and Prometheus Action. So anyway, let it keep playing.
Truth here, and you'll find a whole lot more of it in the newsletter. Now, in her speech at Thursday's dedication, Michelle Obama took numerous cheap shots at President Trump without naming him. Here's Time Magazine's take. Michelle Obama, after enumerating her husband's many accomplishments, including winning the Nobel Peace Prize, which Trump has long coveted and openly campaigned for, said that former President Obama has, quote, proven that a lasting legacy isn't an award or a name on a building or a number of zeros in the bank account, but the difference we make in one another's lives. Now, Barack and Michelle make their money making movies and producing fiction. They hang out with the richest of the rich. But in their speeches Thursday, they tried to claim the mantle of working class heroes, empathy for those below us. Listen to Michelle.
It's why during our administration, we threw open the White House doors to all sorts of folks who don't usually get to meet the president or first lady. The families pinching pennies to send their first child to college. The teenagers who know that a hot afternoon means the bullets start flying. The military spouses and children serving and sacrificing just like their loved ones in uniform. The Native kids showing us that resilience and pride can never be stolen. The 4-H'ers and FFA members with calluses on their hands from feeding livestock. The immigrants proving what it truly means to be a dreamer. These folks aren't Americans too. They are America. They are the beating heart of this country.
They are us, and we are.
Okay, the illegal immigrants are us, and they're part of America. Okay, and they came in broke and they left, and now they're millionaires rubbing elbows with friends. And you can bet your bippy they didn't invite any poor folk into that White House like she's talking about. They rubbed elbows with people like that Nexium cult member who did the hot dog delivery. Okay, that's the kind of people they messed with.
Them.
Donald Trump won large sections of traditional working class and middle class voters from the Democrats in 2024 because he promised to turn around the nation's economic decline, bring back industry and manufacturing, close the open border, restore law and order, reinstill the tough American spirit, and the cultural suicide represented by climate hysteria, COVID mandates, censorship, and DEI. He put new challenges before us, like going to the moon and civilizing space. And he has kept those campaign promises. So in their speeches Thursday, the Obamas tried to erase whole sections of their ruinous 8U presidency in order to claim that they did and will do a better job supporting the working class and middle class than their enemy, Donald Trump. That's the central campaign idea the Democrats are putting forward for the midterms. Now, when I think about what's going on here, the attempt to control and conceal the documents of a two-term presidency, George Orwell's Ministry of Truth from the novel 1984 pops right up in my mind. Even the depiction of Orwell's Ministry of Truth and the brute ugliness of Obama's center seem very much alike to me. In that Orwell novel, the hero, Winston Smith, works in the Ministry of Truth. His job is not to destroy the past, it is to revise it, to make the official version of history match whatever the party needs to say today. The Ministry of Truth did not burn records, it controlled them. That's exactly the deal between the Obama Foundation of what happened inside the Obama White House exists in a format that his private foundation now controls. And that private foundation can simply choose what to release and when. Now, think about what they're hiding. The Obama White House is the documented origin point of what DNI Tulsi Gabbard called a treasonous conspiracy against the Trump presidency. It started with the lie that Trump and the Russians stole the 2016 election. That created the illegal entrapments and surveillance directed at the Trump presidential campaign. And they kept going. Obama and his friends were at the center of the 10-year deployment of our intelligence community, the British intelligence community, to sabotage, imprison, or otherwise eliminate the sitting president and later citizen Trump. That's been documented in congressional testimony, the Durham investigation, and Tulsi Gabbard's recent declassifications. It is the subject of an ongoing criminal grand jury investigation in the Southern District of Florida.
The National Archives have made this.
Did you catch her talking about the Five Eyes who played along with it? An act of war to unseat a sovereign, okay? Subvert a sovereign. And that's what she was talking about. The UK, and there's also France involved and Germany involved, along with other nations that assisted with Obama, okay? The Marxists have infiltrated these governments, including ours. So anyway, she's talking about the grand jury in Florida. How far along are they going to get into this?
Corrupt deal to hide Obama's records was not a passive player in the coup. They worked to fabricate the claim. That's what the Mar-a-Lago raid was all about. But the very same National Archives and Records Administration gave Barack Obama every document from his administration with the power to decide when and whether it will be released or not. But now the worst nightmare of Obama and friends is coming true. Donald Trump now has the intelligence community working at least in part for him. Josh Allman of Just the News just joined the administration to help the president declassify the truth about the 2020 elections.
One programming note, I want to make sure everybody on this show is aware of it. I put it as a disclaimer on all my shows. I mentioned it on my podcast today. For the next couple of months, I'm working as an unpaid government employee to help the government identify documents that can be released to the public. It's your information, after all. Bureaucrats keep us from it. I have an opportunity to help the government identify some documents, some secrets, and things you should know about when it comes to weaponization, election integrity, other things. We're going to work on that. But during that time, I just want you to know, I've stepped aside as the editor-in-chief of Just the News. I still do my reporting. We're still going to do the amazing show here with Amanda. But I want everybody to know that I'm doing this. I'm unpaid. I don't take any money from the government. I think it's a good role for a journalist to play, getting more information out. But I want you to know personally.
Bill Pulte's job is
acting DNI will be forcing these
Now, is John Solomon going to be able to go through and look at these Obama papers? Are they going to be able to withhold them from him? He's going to be a government employee. He's going to have certain powers. Remember in the past, I talked about directly appointed officers. Remember me talking about directly appointed officers? I said I thought Mike Lindell was one. John Solomon, I believe he's one too. So is he going to be able to get past the National Archives to see Obama papers that are supposed to be open? Anyway, I'll let her keep going.
Classifications, picking up the baton from Tulsi Gabbard. That's why the senators and congressmen who tolerated and encouraged this sedition are so freaked out now. Their dirty laundry is also about to be exposed. So let's go back to where we started. Why did Barack Obama avoid creating a traditional presidential library with full public transparency about what went on in his administration? Because a presidential library belongs to history, and history, real history, accessible history, the kind that can be subpoenaed and cross-referenced and contradicted, is no longer something the people who built the Obama era are willing to let run free. Orwell didn't imagine a ministry of truth built on cleared Southside land. He did imagine it funded by private equity and tech billionaires, but he absolutely understood the purpose. Obama, the Democrats, the Bush Republicans, they're all united now in trying to lie and cheat their way through the midterm elections. They hope to kill the Trump presidency in the midterms. At Promethean Action, we're dedicated to not letting them do that, to making them pay for their crimes, the ones they committed against the president and the American people. But we need your help now to do that. If you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter, please do so now. This has been your Saturday Update.
Okay, it's Prometheus Action. And yeah, there's also, Roland, Canada, also Italy. And somebody else mentioned a different country. So, whoa. What's going on here? There we go. Government Buster said we're going to see something on September 4th. Yeah, they haven't paid the workers. Yeah, if that guy would have been a reasonable person to have a discussion with, he's saying Trump stole a part of that whoop-de-doo $15 million to do the reflecting pool that's taller than the Empire State Building by far. What about how much was it? $850 million, the Obama Center? Talk about theft. And the workers not even getting paid. But you can't get through to these radicals. And like I see in the comments, they're sitting there projecting stuff on the Kennedy Center to mock Trump. Outlandish is telling us. They have nothing better to do. These people are mentally ill. Here's what's his name? Keith Ellison? Somebody asked him a question about fraud. And he gets himself bristled up. I haven't watched it yet. Let's see. Hell will toll for you, mister.
If you ask the newspapers for a forensic accounting, the number you mentioned is tightly identified with people of a very unique political persuasion aligned with the Trump administration. So I'm done talking to you. Bye-bye.
No, I just wanted you to clear up the number. I'm not quoting. I'm quoting several reports.
I get it. It's wrong though. And if you're a real reporter, you should know that.
I will report that you're saying it's wrong.
Oh, he's upset. He looks like he's going to cry. You're aligned with Trump because people want to know why in the hell so much money's been stolen and nobody's doing anything about it. Like I said, Trump is warning everybody, not just Iran. Here he is, Newsom. Trump posted this. You see his name up there. While claiming to fight corruption, Newsom solicited $340 million from special interest allies. He's let them know. Years-long effort to solicit donations for political allies. Wife's nonprofit comes into focus. So yeah, but everybody's saying, well, when are we going to see some arrests? We're going to see them. We just got to get other people to wake up. And people like the one I just had in the chats worried about the damn reflecting pool when all this other crap is going on. And here's Scott Jennings.
Regarding the vandalism, that's absolutely true. Somebody did vandalize the grass. Even when workers were working on the reflecting pool, I think I read that people came and vandalized their trucks and their equipment. Look, you have people that hate Donald Trump so much that they would go out and destroy our national monuments, vandalize the Lincoln Memorial, vandalize the grass. That's how broken-brained they are. Donald Trump has cleaned up Washington. The fountains work. The city is clean. The city is safe. It's good that he has taken an interest in this. And you have these people out here who are so broken-brained about the fact that he's the president that they're spending their time vandalizing all this stuff. I think it's terrible. And I hope anybody who vandalizes our monuments, I hope they get caught. And I hope they get put in jail. He's trying to make the city beautiful for America 250. There's going to be a lot of people in Washington. They deserve to go to a clean, safe capital. And that's what he's trying to do.
Amisha?
What is going on in the chats? Anyway, he's right. You know, these people got nothing better to do. You unsubscribed. I didn't say anything like Mountain Man said about you. What did I say about you, Gov Buster? I repeated, I was reading somebody else's chat. I don't know what you're talking about. Clarify, please, Gov Buster. I didn't say anything about you. I read something in the chats. Remember what? It was something harmless. Clarify. Let me see. Clarify. Oh. Who's it? No, he's been in. Gutbuster's been in here before. And not had any problems. I don't know what the problem is now. I'm talking about the smart aleck that was in here named Daniel. Yeah, there you go. Roland's got it. Where's the apology, Gutbuster? I didn't want to talk about you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Are you smoking something tonight? Be honest. Here he is. Oh, my God. At least you're not this guy here. Look at him. UK Prime Minister Starmer expected to resign on June 22nd. You think Gutbuster is really Daniel? British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is reported preparing to announce his resignation and outline a timetable. Growing pressure. Yeah, it's about those 250,000 people you buried, them being abused. Okay? Where is Gutbuster? I want a clarification right now, Gutbuster. So anyway, we're waiting for his clarification. People make mistakes. People make mistakes in this world. But anyway, Here's this idiot right here, speaking of treason, speaking of subversion, speaking against about boogeyman psyops. That's what climate change is. It's a boogeyman psyops. Thank you, Todd. You never heard me say anything about Gubbuster. John Kerry, there's really no polite way to put it. The climate crisis is killing people. You liar. You know, that story stood for years about you throwing your damn medals over the fence. And now, 30 years later, 40, 50 years later, you're running around telling people, that was just for show. I'll never throw my medals away. I've got them in a safe place. Well, what's the truth, John Kerry? And why would you promulgate a lie like that to divide our country? Even if you didn't throw them away, you lied and said you did. You're still trash, either way. Why the long face, John? You look like Herman Munster before he got sick. Here's another one. I meant to bring this up the other day, but then this one popped up from John Kerry. They're trying to gear up anything they can. I wouldn't be surprised to come back up with monkeypox again. Scientists were dead right. Former Vice President Al Gore on the 20th anniversary of the release of Inconvenient Truth. All a bunch of bull that our kids became emotionally distressed over. Going to bed at night afraid that the world was coming to an end with a guilt complex. Hi, Felix. How you doing? Because of you and your exaggerated lies with Greta von Doomberg. The scientists have been right. ABC News. Illegal psychological warfare campaigns. That's what this climate change garbage is, along with all their other lies. They've been right about climate change all along, says former President Al Gore. He made millions of dollars off that, selling his media company, or whatever the hell it was, to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera. After, with his connections, he got the National Education Association to pay millions and millions of dollars for his stupid books and programs to be shown in every school. Propaganda and lies to be put in every school in front of every young mind. They used our tax dollars, and he cashed in. Sickening. Both of them. Let me get him off screen. I shouldn't have to make you all look at a face like that, but for so damn long. And, you know, earlier in the program, at the very beginning of the program, about Dr. Fauci, Tulsi Gabbard, I said it was a bombshell. Talking about crimes against humanity. I said I'm talking about issues that would get me in trouble in the past. But now that it's an official government position by the Director of National Intelligence, I should be able to talk about it, right? 0 reports from ABC, 0 reports from CBS, 0 reports from NBC. On DNI, Tulsi Gabbard's recent declassification of Dr. Fauci's cover-up of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's not only his cover-up, it's his involvement. It's his involvement. And if you go back and watch my last video, which I said I'll be taking down in 24 to 48 hours, it's going to disappear because I have uploaded it to Rumble. Because I feel like there's going to be some backlash. I talked about 11.4 international treaties that these people are not only in trouble for breaking the laws of the United States, that it's an international criminality. Remember, So if you want to see this video, you better go watch it because it's going to come off. It'll be on Rumble. But you know why? One of the reasons I'm taking it down? Blocked. Blocked. They say it's from a crappy right. Okay? A crappy right strike. But I got the notification. Wait a minute, that's not it. I got the notification it was blocked worldwide. I couldn't make any changes to it because it was reportedly uploading. It took like 24 hours to upload. And I couldn't remove the minute or so that they claimed was Dana White's fight night or whatever it was. I closed the show out with the fireworks show. Blocked globally. Okay? And it got half. But I said at the beginning of the video, before I ever played any content that was copyrighted, I said there's something wrong. This video is not getting out. I could tell by the views. And it got a third of the views of all the other ones before I ever said a word or played any copyrighted stuff. So something tells me that I'm going to get it down the road. And pulling the video might not even help me. But I talked about stuff they don't want you talking about. See, ABC, CBS, NBC, none of them talked about it. So if you want to see it, better go watch it if you hadn't seen it. Unless you can get on to Rumble. So where's Gov at? He didn't come back and explain himself, clarify what he's talking about. Let me see. I don't want to be on odds with somebody. I never said a damn word about it. I don't see him. Elva's trying to pat him on the head. Hi, Stan. Todd tried to pat him on the head. I asked him to clarify himself, and I'm going to go back up here if I can go that far, because I said a long time ago, don't ever threaten me with subscriptions. There it is, GovBuster. You don't have to unsubscribe because you're out of here. You didn't clarify. You had a little titty fit and ran away when I didn't say a damn thing about you. So you can change your name and come up as somebody else and act like you got some sense. But don't ever threaten me with subscriptions. Don't ever threaten me with subscriptions or accuse me of doing something I didn't do. So even though he's not responding, he won't be able to unless he opens a different account. And then he's welcome back if he acts like he got some sense. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Smoking something. But anyway, so he's gone. Threatened me with unsubscribing, and you just won't even have to worry about it. So I will. Roland, are you out there because you'll like pretty girl? That's what I'm going to do. She's from Francais. Okay, folks, we're not totally lost. That's right, Miss Minister. He had one of them. Moms know what I'm talking about when I say somebody had a titty fit. But anyway, folks, here you go. Here's a nice young lady. And I will... Oh, I tickle myself again. While this is playing, I will put a link in the description. I mean the chat. I keep saying description. In the chats for Buy Me a Coffee, because this is a totally viewer-supported channel. And I put my postage stamp up there at the top for But anyway, folks, I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow night, but if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live, won't you? So why don't you go ahead and do that? I hope you all have a great Father's Day weekend, and I will be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Dear European and American friends, listen to this latest absurdity. Last November, Jean Hudgana, who is a father and identity video in front of the supermarket in his small town. Let's watch it together and I'll comment next.
Salut à tous, vous voyez là je suis dans la ville dans laquelle j'ai grandi, 10 000 habitants je crois, et depuis quelques années maintenant tous les soirs on se demande un peu ce qui se passe, mais en gros t'as des réfugiés afghans qui traînent, voilà, toujours au Leclerc en train de t'acheter de la bouffe, à rien branler. Bienvenue dans la campagne française.
Okay, he posted this in the evening and the summoned him, warning him that it might take a while. He was held in police custody for 48 hours and subjected to completely crazy interrogations where they asked him where his children went to school, what his relationship with them was like, how he raised them, Stasi style basically. In the end, he was recently prosecuted and sentenced to a 3-month suspended sentence prison and a fine of 4,650 euros, including 600 euros in compensation for each Afghan migrant he filmed. Native French people who speak out against non-European immigration and its damages are subjected to a veritable ritual of humiliation. They are forced to submit and to love their invaders and their tormentors against their will. We identitarian activists are hunted down like criminals because we love our country. My friends, keep fighting and defend your freedom of speech tooth and nail, because if you lose it, you lose everything else. Your sovereignty, your identity. So please share this video because there are still brave French people who are still fighting and deserve your support. Thank you.